What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Ride and Dad channel, or welcome either way. Glad to have you. Here in my hands are a Stage 1, specifically for my bike, Dyno Results prior and post professional tune on a Dyno Jet, obviously, because the dyno. Anyway, let's roll the intro. Let's come back. I'll tell you what I did to the bike to make it a Stage 1 so you can compare it to your builds, and we'll go over what my final numbers are.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a thing that you found.
Alrighty, so first of all, where did I go? West Coast Cycles in Fort Myers. Really cool guy, Tony. They did a really good job. Overall experience really good. So in short, what I'm trying to say is I would recommend them, and I'm definitely going to go there in the future. Also, a side note, if this is something you're going to do, most of my people aren't local to me anyway, but it's worth mentioning that if you do go to him for your initial tune, any tune therein after for that same bike is, providing you don't lose that original tune, he discounts that tune for the future because they work off of his base map. So what a Stage 1, for those of you who don't know really what Stage 1 in Harley terms is kind of your base improvements that most people make to bikes. So it's a high airflow air cleaner. It's a exhaust, usually a full exhaust, but I've seen people call slip-ons, part of Stage 1 as well. And then a tune is really what a Stage 1 is going to be. So for those of you who don't know, the tuner I am running is a Dyno Jet Power Vision. I have a whole video devoted to the Power Vision, how I installed it, kind of what I thought, how easy it was to use. I really do like it. I actually contacted my local Harley and I said, hey, how much would a tune be for this, whatever, this is what I got going on. And they said, oh, we don't do tunes for that. We only do tunes for the Screaming Eagle one. I'm like, alrighty, well, cross that one off the list, whatever. But yeah, they have their own base map. So previously what I was running, I tried the auto tune out and I tried the regular base map for Dyno Jet's Stage 1. As far as exhaust go, I should start off by saying, if you don't know what the bike is or whatever, it is a 2020 Harley Davidson Lowrider S. It does come with the stock 114 cubic inch engine, translated to centimeters, cc. I believe it's 1,826 maybe 0.6. I don't really remember exactly what it is, but it's 1826, give or take, cubic centimeters, cc's. So a little over 1,800 cc bike. So the exhaust I have is a TBR, Two Brothers Racing, 2-in-1. I have the Comp S, have actually two videos. I have an install video and a review video on that exhaust. Very happy with it so far, especially for the price point. And then I previously was running the stock because the 114 M8 engines from Harley come with like a high airflow air cleaner. But recently, and you can watch that install video, I'll link it, hopefully somewhere or whatever, but it's in everything I did to this bike is in my Lowrider S playlist for my video playlist that I have or whatever. It's all grouped, so it's super easy to find. But I just recently installed a Trask Assault a Trask Assault high airflow air cleaner, whatever you want to call it, Trask Assault. So super cool exhaust, looks killer, performs supposedly really good. We'll go over the numbers so you can be the judge for that. But actually the video prior to this one actually is me installing the external breather kit for that as well, which should theoretically in the long run help engine performance by not spraying all that crankcase crappy oil mist in there. But that's a video that you would click on and watch the video prior. I talk all about that and why I did that. You guys are here for the dyno numbers. So I was running a dyno, like a base Stage 1 tune from Dyno Jet on my Power Vision. That, when I brought the bike to Tony at West Coast Cycles, the bike was making 89.3, I'm gonna go real specific here for you guys, 89.3 horsepower. And then the max torque it was making was 107.05. I'm gonna try to figure out, so there's also, I will say that in the numbers and everything, I'm gonna put up pictures somewhere, maybe the whole time or whatever, of like just a scanned, picture of these dyno runs. But unfortunately, something happened with his dyno. It was working, but the readout wasn't reading out fully. It cut in and out, and he didn't realize it until after the fact. So the prior numbers are kind of blurry and everything, but we'll talk about that in the end kind of thing as well. So just when you're looking at them, that's what happened. So I can't really accurately tell you where the torque and the horsepower kind of came up. But I can tell you at the end, just the final numbers, you know, whatever. So he worked his magic. It took him about a day and a half because they really dial in their dyno jet over there has a lot of cool capabilities and upgrades that some of them, at least locally, typically don't have. So what it ended up with was 91.53 horsepower and 110.54 torque. Pretty cool, right? So I could tell you the torque, pretty much right around 2.3, 2,300 RPM, all the way till about 4,000 RPM. It's pretty solid right at that 110 mark. And I'll post this. This is just the final numbers. You can see everything. The top one is torque, and you'll be able to read it anyway. And then as far as horsepower, that started to get towards the 90-ish range at about 4,500 RPM and carried on just about till 5 1/4, 52, 5,300. It stayed right above the 90, just above the 90 horsepower mark. What this graph, well, this one with just the final numbers can tell you, and what I can tell you better, the butt dyno, as they call it, 100% difference. So at the top end, I didn't really feel anything too much, which is kind of expected for these, such a small power gain. However, I guarantee you the engine is running more efficient and better. But what I can tell you for sure you feel right off the bat is the low end torque. Just not only do you feel more torque in the lower end, it's a much smoother, you feel it all the way through. It's very progressive, very predictable. Before, it was kind of choppy a little bit. For those of you who have a M8 with a stage 1, you probably know what I'm talking about without a professional tune. It almost feels choppy, and you almost don't know how good you can have it until you have one of these professional tunes done. Everybody says, tunes, get a professional tune done, get a professional tune done. And the reason I was holding off for so long was because originally my goal for this year was to get a full, like a cam chest, and obviously a cam, put into this bike, and I didn't want to pay to tune it twice, once before the cam and once after, if they were going to be so close together. However, some other financing stuff came into play, some other stuff with home life and bike stuff, so I wound up saying, okay, I'm definitely not going to do a cam this year, but I want to get a tune done. 1, to see the benefits. 2, to get some numbers out to you guys, because I think it's really cool seeing these actual real life stage 1 numbers. Unfortunately, what I don't have is a base dyno prior to a stage 1 kit that I put on this bike. That is something I wish I not necessarily spent the money on, because that's a lot of money just for something that just for the heck of it to see the numbers. But that is something that would have been really cool to compare before and after stage 1. But anyhow, you guys are now armed with the knowledge of what my specific setup, which is a super common kind of typical stage 1 setup for these bikes, what my bike puts out. Your results obviously might vary, your tuner might vary, a lot of things might vary, your altitude, bunch of stuff, but I can tell you that I am happy with it. It just feels so smooth, that power torque curve ratio and everything, it's so linear, it's so nice. Money well spent, especially I trusted him very much with my bike. He knew what he was talking about. He's been doing it for a long time. They go through great lengths to make sure that their dyno is one of the top performing dynos. So yeah, very, very pleased, very happy with it. I recommend getting, I'm actually, my buddy Motos and Mullets he's got an M8 lowrider with the 107. He can't find his numbers right now. He's trying to find his dyno printout. Hopefully maybe he'll do a video, especially if you guys, maybe I'll try to bug him about doing it as well for his dyno results on a stage 1. He did the same thing I did. He has a stage 1 on his 107 build. And he said the numbers weren't as big of a deal to him, but he could really feel the improvement of it. And that was kind of my selling point, him telling me that anyway. But yeah, go check out his channel. I'll link it down below, of course. But he's a cool dude, and he's got a pretty sick mullet. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up because I pretty much said everything I wanted to do for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM, or either way, just go find me on Instagram and give me a follow and let me know you came from YouTube, whatever. I converse daily with guys from YouTube over on Instagram all the time, and I always reply, and well, at least I try to, unless something weird is going on with YouTube. I always reply to comments on YouTube. I love interacting with you guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think these numbers suck? Do you think these numbers are great? I think these numbers are great for a stage 1 in my case. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Make sure you watch one of the 2 videos that are on the page right now. I would appreciate it. It helps out my channel. If you want to grab any other Riding Dad merch, which is not to be confused with this flamingo shirt that I'm rocking on Friday here, link is down below, so go ahead and check out some of my merch for the Riding Dad. There's 2 different collections right now, and until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun. Dad out.